Hey everyone, and welcome back to another weekly meal prep. My name is Olivia and I'm a type 1 diabetic and have been so for just about over 20 years now. And I've been a little bit slow lately at putting out my weekly meal prep videos because I'm in my second trimester of pregnancy and this pregnancy has just been exhausting. I have 2 toddlers already, but I figured now that my son's back in the rhythm of school, it was a good start for me to get back into meal prep. That way I can keep my sugars in balance, and make sure that I'm eating good ingredients for me and for the baby. So this week I'm starting slow with meal prepping 2 things with you today. I'm meal prepping a dessert that I've been thinking about, and I'm meal prepping a breakfast item, just because the mornings are always really hectic in my house trying to get my little ones set and ready to go for the day. So I'm first prepping with you my breakfast, which is my Copycat Chick-fil-A breakfast bowls. And I'm also going to be meal prepping with you guys today my dessert, which will be my diabetic friendly strawberry shortcake, which is absolutely delicious and I am obsessed with it. So let's get going into my kitchen. Before we get started, please do me a favor and like this video. It lets me know that you like my meal preps and I will try my best to continue on with them weekly. So like my video, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys throughout the video, and at the very end, say goodbye. So to get started today, I'm going to be doing my Copycat Chick-fil-A bowls, which if you've been to Chick-fil-A before are very similar to their fried chicken bowls they have for breakfast. So scrambled eggs, potatoes, and eggs topped with some delicious cheese, of course. So to get started, we're going to be basically getting ready to put these bowls together, which requires 3 steps. One step is I'm going to be pan frying some potatoes. These are shredded potatoes that I have from Walmart, but if you prefer tater tots, of course you can use those, or shredded potatoes with peppers and onions, you could use those as well. But I'm just using these today, and I'm gonna put them on my stove with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and I'm just gonna cook these all the way through. Another thing I'm going to start by prepping is I'm going to be cooking my chicken in my air fryer, and I'm going the easy way out. I'm not breading anything myself today. I'm using the Just Bare brand. I purchased this big bag from what I prefer. They're lower carb and a little bit lighter and absolutely delicious. I always use this brand on my channel. And I'm going to be air frying these in my air fryer for about 15 minutes. These are the chicken tenders, but feel free to use the chicken bites. At the end, I'm gonna end up chopping them up anyway, so you won't really know. And then the last thing I'm gonna be doing with you guys is I'm going to be cracking my eggs into a bowl and just scrambling them up. You can obviously do whatever you'd like to your eggs. You can leave them over easy, you can pan fry them, you can poach them if you'd like. But I'm going to take 6 eggs and I'm going to scramble them up. And I'm not sure if I'd mentioned it in the beginning, but this meal is 290 calories per serving, and I'm making 4 servings today. So that way I have 4 breakfasts ready to go in my fridge to enjoy. So for my 4 portions, I'm taking 6 eggs, a splash of half and half, like so. And I'm gonna season them up with salt and pepper. You can season them however you'd like. And I'm just gonna cook these till they're scrambled hard on my stove. So I'm gonna get going to get all of this stuff going right here, and then I'll pop back in and assemble my bowls with you guys. Okay, I am back and everything is prepped and ready to go. So all I have to do now is assemble my bowls. If you're interested in where I get these bowls from, they're the Hefty brand. I purchased these, I wanna say in a 30 pack from Sam's Club for $9. And I know that some people may come for me because it's not the most environmentally safe thing. I trash them after and I reuse them because $9 for a 30 pack to me just justifies being able to do that. I know maybe it's not the most safe thing for the environment, but with my 3rd kid on the way, cutting down dishes is just more of a priority for me. So to get started, the first thing I'm gonna put at the bottom of these bowls are my shredded potatoes I made. I do wanna point out that what I seasoned them with was salt and pepper, but then I also added this Kinder seasoning that is delicious. It's the buttery steakhouse blend. So if you're looking to season potatoes with that or chicken, anything, it's just absolutely delicious. And especially with potatoes, I just think it's to die for. So this was half a bag of the Great Value potatoes. And I'm going to evenly divide it between my 4 bowls. Now this would also be so delicious with shredded hash browns. And if you've been to Chick-fil-A before, you would know that they actually use the shredded hash browns there. That's what they use. And they're absolutely delicious. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I did work at Chick-fil-A when I was younger. and I loved all their food. I couldn't recommend eating there more. I would say it's one of the healthier options, and they even had some diabetic friendly options on the menu that I used to get. But then they also had some not diabetic friendly items that I also used to enjoy, so I will not lie. So there's the potatoes all down and ready. And next, I'm going to put my eggs. So this was my 6 scrambled eggs with a splash of half and half. I cooked them on the stove, so they're slightly hard, but like I said in the beginning of this video, you can cook your eggs however you'd like. I'm just very funny with eggs. I feel like since I'll be reheating these up in the microwave, I am more comfortable with them being scrambled. I don't know how they would be, you know, cooked over easy and all of that. But one thing I also will add is if you have the extra time in the morning, you could always make your egg fresh. So assemble your bowls and then the morning of, make the egg however you'd like. That's totally okay. So my eggs are down. And then lastly, I have my chicken tenders. So I have about 4 servings right here of my chicken strips, the Just Bare brand. And all I'm gonna do is chop them up. And I cook these in my air fryer, but by all means, if you do not have an air fryer, you can just make these in your oven. I followed the package instructions on the Just Bare packaging. So I want to say it was 360 air fryer for about 15 minutes. And they look and smell absolutely amazing. And I also will add that these are a very good Chick-fil-A dupe. So now I'm going to also evenly divide these between my 4 bowls. And I did not cook my potatoes very crispy, but the crispiness of the chicken will make up for that. And that is totally okay by me. And they look so darn delicious. So this is just so much cheaper than going to Chick-fil-A, but also healthier too because I air fried the chicken. I know it's in all the food itself, and I'm happy for that. And then the last step, second to last step, sorry, we'll be adding some cheese. So I'm just gonna add the mild cheddar I have. It's the Great Value brand, nothing special. You can use whatever cheese you have on hand. This would be delicious with mozzarella. It would be delicious with pepper jack. This is what I have on hand, so this is what I'm throwing on top. Delicious. And then for the sauce, I was debating on what sauce I wanted to use for this dish because obviously you can purchase in store the Chick-fil-A sauce from Chick-fil-A, but that has a lot of sugar in it. You would never think it has a lot of sugar in it, but read the nutrition labels, it does. So one thing I'm using today is actually the Old El Paso queso because I figured a good substitute for that sauce would be more cheese. And this stuff is my favorite. It's actually surprisingly low calorie and it has little to no impact on my blood sugar. So I'm going to drizzle that on top. And one thing I love about this too is it's a squeeze tube. So even though I'm not like the best presenter with food, it makes it look like I am. So just a nice drizzle on top. And now it looks delicious. So I will be excited to open it up every morning and give it a go. So here's my bowls. I will get you guys on in there so you can see. There you go. So that's a great portion too for 290 calories. I just feel like you can't go wrong with that. And it's diabetic friendly. The potatoes are only 70 calories per serving, lower carb. It's a whole food, so I feel good about eating it for me and for my little girl in my belly. So I'm happy for that. So this was my breakfast for the week. Now I'm going to pop in and show you how I am going to prepare my desserts to have in my fridge ready to go whenever I want a sweet treat. Now up, we have my breakfast, which is of course is what I'm most excited about. I am making a strawberry shortcake. I'm utilizing a few sugar-free ingredients to make it a little bit less sugar added, but it will be delicious. And I'm going to actually make it in 2 different containers to kind of show you 2 different options that you can do, whatever will best fit your life or your family. So to get started, I am using the sugar-free Cool Whip right here, and I'm going to put this whole container into a bowl, and I'm going to mix it in with a few ingredients. Now this dessert per serving is about 320 calories. Now that is a large size serving. Today I'm going to be making with you guys about 6 servings, 7 servings, and that is because I'm doing it in 2 different containers. This will be more of your family size container, whereas these right here are your single serving container. And if you're interested in those little clear containers, I purchased them on Amazon just to have them on standby. It's just very convenient. So I have my 1 container of sugar-free Cool Whip in here. And next I'm gonna add in 2 yogurts. I'm using strawberry yogurt today, and you can use whatever brand you'd like. I picked up the Yoplait brand, but you can obviously use whatever you personally like. But this yogurt is just gonna do a good job at putting that strawberry flavor into the strawberry shortcake. And if you follow my channel before, when I do desserts, a lot of the time they are the Cool Whip centered desserts. It's just personally what I like a lot, and I feel like you can be really creative with the different flavors. So I found with the Cool Whip that the Cool Whip will mimic whatever flavor yogurt you use. So I have made so many different varieties based on different yogurts that I purchase. So today it's just strawberry. And then the last ingredient, I'm gonna add half a packet of the sugar-free Jell-O cheesecake pudding mix. And this kind of serves as the thickening agent for this. So there we go. Now, like I said in the beginning, this is not just a fluff recipe that I usually kind of stick towards. This is going to be a cake. So I will show you what I'm using as my cake substitute for this recipe. So there we go, I mixed it up. So it's a little bit thicker than normal just because of the Jell-O. And if you smell it, it smells like strawberries. It smells absolutely delicious. So for my bread substitute, my cake substitute, I'm going to be using graham crackers. I'm just using the generic Great Value Walmart brand of graham crackers. So you can eat this. When you eat this, my personal recommendation is to let it sit in your fridge a little bit, because then the graham crackers will have time to kind of mush down. Now, if mushy desserts aren't your thing, you might not like this very much. I know my husband prefers crunchy. So when I make this, he likes to have it right when I'm done, so that way the graham crackers still have a crunch to them. But if you leave them in the fridge overnight, they will soak up the liquid of the strawberries and the liquid of your mixture and really do a nice job at mushing down a little bit. So I'm going to add some graham crackers to the bottom of each one. So I'm going to add about 2 graham crackers to the bottom of each container. So I like to just break them in half. You can do whatever fits you best. If you feel like chopping them up would be a better alternative for you, you can do that. I've certainly done that before, but all I'm doing today is kind of just doing a rough hand chop. So 2 little thin wafers and the bottom just like that. And then now I'm going to top it with this mixture that I made up, like so. Yum. It smells so good. Like so. And now, of course, I need to put strawberries in it because you can't have strawberry shortcake without your strawberries. So I have some strawberries I just washed up in my sink, and I'm just gonna add a top of that to each mixture. You can add as much or as little as you'd like. I really love fruit right now. That seems to be my #1 pregnancy craving. So I'm going to have a heavy hand when it comes to my strawberries. And obviously, if you guys prefer like a banana shortcake or a blueberry, you could obviously do that with this as well. I just felt like strawberry would be great because everyone has had or heard of strawberry shortcake before in their life. And typically you don't hear of it as being a diabetic friendly dessert. So now I'm going to add 2 more graham crackers to the top of each one. There we go. Looks so delicious. And just because of the size of these containers, I'm going to stop after this layer and I'm going to continue on to my next step. So obviously, if you have a deeper container, you can certainly do more with this. And for the next step, I picked up some sugar-free icing. This is just the Pillsbury brand because that's what my store had in stock. And I'm going to melt this down in my microwave to create a nice melted icing that I'm now going to pour over the top of this deliciousness right here. All right, so all it took was about 15 seconds in the microwave to melt it down. And you can see it's just a nice drizzly sauce now. And when this goes in the fridge, it will harden up, but I liquefy it so that way it's just easier to work with than dumping a glob of icing in each container. So now I'm going to drizzle some icing on top of each one. And I think this is just what makes it. I don't know if I'm alone here, but growing up, one of my favorite treats was pretzels dipped in vanilla icing or chocolate icing, but I'm more of a vanilla person. And I used to love that. So when they started coming out with the sugar-free icings that you could just buy in the Pillsbury container and store, I was just giddy about it because I can do that again. So now that I've topped everything with icing, I'm just going to throw on a few more slices of strawberries because you can't have too many strawberries. And I really hope that this dessert gave you guys some inspiration and some ideas. I know it's really hard being diabetic because, well, clearly I've dealt with it for long enough. And while options are better now, I know growing up, like, places do not have many diabetic friendly dessert options. Now you can find places here and there that do have some sugar-free or keto items that you can enjoy, but it's just not the same. There's so many more options for the regular non-diabetic. So when you can get little treats like this that are diabetic friendly that you can enjoy, you just want to go that way. So these are my little mini containers, and now I'm just going to show you real quick with the leftover ingredients how I'm going to throw together the large container. So with this one, because it is a larger container, I'm going to put a whole graham cracker at the bottom of the container, and I'm going to top it this way. Now this way is a lot easier. I'm not going to lie to you guys, throwing it together, obviously, for obvious reasons. But however, if you're looking for more self-control, having those individual portions is a good idea. But for this way, it's a nice, easy family size. And when I do go to eat this, I will take it out of this container. I won't just sit here and go to town on the entire container. However, if you'd like to, by all means, you can do that. So this is just an alternate way to do this if you'd like. Now I'm going to top it with that. And because I have enough cooler cream, I'm actually going to add another layer of this to the top, like so. There we go. And then I'm going to add one more graham cracker. So delicious. And now all I have to do is melt down this last icing, and then I will pop back in to show you what my giant family size container. All right, so to finish me off, I have my little mixture with my last graham cracker, and I'm just going to drizzle the icing right on top. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this dessert recipe, I'm gonna let mine personally sit overnight, so that way the graham crackers can get nice and moist. And like I said, everyone may not prefer that. My husband sees me eating this, he'll get very grossed out because he does not like mushy. So do whatever fits your soul better, and this is what I have for my dessert for the week. So thank you guys for sticking around with me to the end of the video to see what I made for my meal prep breakfast and dessert for this week. And like I said in the beginning of the video, it really helped me and my channel out. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in seeing more diabetic content. And I'm really happy to be back with you guys. I apologize, I've not been the best at posting videos lately, but I am starting to feel a little bit better, starting to get my energy back. So I'm hoping to come with you guys full throttle now that my kids are back in school to show you what I'm meal prepping for me and my diabetic lifestyle for the week. So once again, thank you for checking out with me today, and I will see you guys in my next week's meal prep video. Have a great day.